Darling, today I'm being joined by Carly Garrett, who is a full member of the Association of Reflexologists and Fertility Reflexologists, and also is a Freedom Fertility Specialist and Gentle Release Practitioner. Welcome, Carly.
Hello, hi. Thank you for having me.
Of course, and so you're based in Southwest London, but of course you consult and you help people all around the world with all sorts of different issues or concerns, especially related to fertility, and you can do so virtually. So I'm really excited to talk about fertility reflexology in particular, because it's an area that I am intrigued to know more about. I know my readers are, and you've just written a fantastic article which is on the Fertility Help Hub website, which everyone must go and check out at www.fertilityhelphub.com. So please could you introduce yourself and explain how you got into fertility reflexology to start with, and how it can be beneficial for people?
Yes, so as you say, I'm based in Southwest London, but also Surrey as well. And so I trained as a reflexologist 17 years ago. And the reason being was because I was interested in reflexology myself during my 20s for insomnia, and I was just intrigued to find out how it worked. So I signed up to do the course, which was over 9 months, I think it was, and quite quickly I realised how wonderful it was. And I remember one of our tutor said that a certain percentage of women each course fell pregnant because our bodies were in the best possible state, because we were having so much reflexology each time we met up, and we were swapping treatments. And I received my qualification, and then the next day I found out that I was pregnant with my son. And so obviously there was proof in the pudding, so to speak. And then it went from there. I realised that was something I stopped working and after my second son in the city, and I started working properly doing the reflexology. And so I initially went on to train in maternity reflexology, and with that comes some training on fertility. And then I was being asked by different clients if I could help their friends. So I signed up to do the fertility course, and then it's all gone from there, really. It's wonderful. I love the client to work with, the differences that it makes. And so obviously that's giving hands-on reflexology treatments, which I've not been able to do at the moment. So we've now moved to the hands, and so I give my clients lots of work and tips to do, and it's great. I received a text this morning from a client that I did a consultation with last month. The cycle's gone for 24 days, no night sweats, which she was getting before, no clotting, no pain in her period. And so it's wonderful to see the differences that it can make. And that is literally her doing her hands and the gentle release recordings that I give her.
Fantastic. And so how does fertility reflexology work?
So as far as how it works, it's no different from general reflexology. So during a general reflexology treatment, you will be worked from top to toe. You'll have every point worked. And how we work with fertility reflexology or reproflexology is we work specifically with the cycle. So we have lots of knowledge about different conditions, but then we work with the cycle, whether it's a natural cycle or whether it's medicated. And we do different things at different times and for different women, depending on what's going on, if that makes sense. So you've got the relaxation side of it. You've got the taking an hour out of your day to lie there, close your eyes and go to sleep. And then we're working every single part of your body. So we're working the central nervous system, working with your cycle. So during your period time, we're working at clearing. So clearing the endometrium. Then from the end of, and balancing and calming everything down, calming down the ovaries, calming down your endocrine system, ready to start stimulating. During the follicular stage, we are stimulating your uterus to build up the endometrium. We are stimulating your ovaries, stimulating the follicles, and then we're working on your endocrine system to produce the FSH and the luteinizing hormone, and to prompt ovulation. So that's obviously a really quite crucial time. And then we have post ovulation. So we've got implantation around that time. We're supporting the corpus luteum producing the progesterone and supporting the body and nurturing the body at that time, because hopefully we have got an embryo that implants, and we want to nurture and nourish that. And then if we're working on a medicated cycle, work with your protocol that you're on. And it's very powerful. All sorts of changes from clients that haven't ovulated. We can stimulate ovulation, and we can work at extending that luteal phase. The message I got from my client this morning, her luteal phase has really extended. As I said before, you get the relaxation side. So you're getting that. We are taking you out. You've got an hour where you're being taken out of that emergency state. And with the principles of reflexology is that we are aiding your body to heal itself. And so we can't make it do anything that it doesn't want to do. We can just guide it and help it and prompt it. And that's why it's so powerful, and that's why it's so wonderful, really. In the article, there was a study done by the Association of Reproductive Reflexology. I think it was 68% of the women that had treatment did fall pregnant. So, and that was a mixture of natural and assisted conception. So it's powerful stuff. It's fantastic.
And so reflexology feet, you mentioned that you're giving techniques used to practice on their hands. So why not on their feet? Just because it's not as accessible for people doing it for themselves?
Completely. I have got one client at the moment that doesn't like doing it on her hands, so we get her to do it on the feet. It's just easier. The idea is to do it for 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 3 times a day, stimulating and sedating different points. And it's just easier if you're sitting down watching TV. I've got a client actually that's when she hit 14 weeks pregnancy, I told her to stop. I just can stop now, because we carry on with the stimulating the ovaries until 14 weeks for the progesterone after a positive pregnancy test. And she says she can't, because it's just something that she, every time she stops, she sits down and she stimulates her points. So it is really powerful.
So please, could you show us a couple of examples whilst we're talking about reflexology for fertility?
The problem that I have with giving you points is that everybody's different, and I would always do a full consultation before I speak to somebody. But there are things, so I can give you a couple on the face at hands, and I'll give you a couple on the face as well, which anybody can do. And the most important point ever, I believe, is your solar plexus. And it's really calming. So the idea is to keep you out of the emergency state that women are in when they're trying to conceive, because generally it's very all-encompassing and generally kind of that level of anxiety and just mental overwhelm. Solar plexus is a great one. So if you cup your hand, you have a dip in the center. You can put some hand cream on and just literally rub, which is really calming as a nurturing thing to do for other people. Both hands, so you can do that. Or if you are feeling quite overwhelmed or you can't sleep, a really nice way to do is to press into that point, take a deep breath in before, hold, and then as you breathe out, you release your thumb. And if you do that 3 times, that's really grounding and really centering. The next point, which I can show you, your reproductive system is around your wrist. So we've got kind of here, if that makes sense. So you come down from your fingers and it's the first dip. I just want to show you how you can clear your uterus. Use it during your bleed. It can really help with clearing, with clots. We either sedate or we stimulate. This time in your cycle, we want to sedate. We're coming down your thumb into that first dip above your wrist. So I will exaggerate it, but you keep your thumb on that point, and the direction you're going in is towards your thumb and down. So you're actually going in a different direction on each hand. So the idea, it's like the wheels on a train track, that they're both going in different directions. But so we're sedating. So you're going towards your thumb and down. And if you just keep doing that, that's really, so there we will calm. So we're calming everything down in the uterus, but only during your bleed. Don't do that at any other time. And then something you can do on your face is just a few points on your face that you can do in the evening, in the morning, whilst you're putting your moisturizer or your facial oil on. 4 points. So we're going to start off in between your eyebrows. What I like to do, close your eyes and do it in an anti-clockwise motion. So just do a few circles. Then we're moving up to the center of your forehead. Touch further down. And this is a bigger circle. And this is your head, brain, pituitary gland. So this is really important. And again, you can, if you want to work, let your body move with that. That's really nice to relax. And then going up to your hairline, which is your sacrum, and working on that point. And then if we come back to the center, doing that motion with your finger, starting from the in between your eyebrows, working all the way up, and you can smooth it up as well. You're working, this is your spine. So here we're working the central nervous system. So it's really calming.
Even just from doing that 5 minutes, I feel more relaxed, and it's actually really nice.
Good.
That, isn't it? Thank you so much for that. That's amazing. And obviously, also you have huge expertise in freedom fertility support as well. So can you talk to me a bit about your relaxation sessions and your group coaching, and also the one-to-one sessions that you do?
What I have done is I've wanted to bring everything together. So with the Freedom Fertility Formula, it's very much based on, the idea behind it is to guide you into how you can live your life in the wait for a baby, as opposed to that overwhelm blurring everything else, if that makes sense. As we all know, there are 7 sessions, so they can either be done one-to-one or as part of the group sessions. With the group sessions, the first one is done as a one-to-one, so I can get to know you, know what your needs are, and so forth, get to hear your story. We will talk about charting, bleeds, and then as far as the rest of the Freedom Fertility Formula, it's about teaching you tools and techniques to control that overwhelm, and we do a big session on your emotions and about how your emotions are trying to guide you, what they mean, why you feel in that way. Do a big session on root map reprogramming, which is, we're all programmed from a young age with different responses, how we respond to things, our beliefs. And sometimes they don't always serve us. Sometimes we didn't need them in the first place. Sometimes we don't need them any longer. So we can, and with that, we can change how we respond to things. If we have a typical way that we respond over and over and over again to something, do a session on self-care and having a bath, but it can be, if that works for you, a lot of mental health, mental well-being self-care, such things as journaling and something called the daily dump, which is writing, not so much journaling, but getting everything out on a piece of paper, bringing joy into your life. One of the things I've noticed about my clients over the years is creativity just goes. I had a client last year, and I went to her house, and she had I can't even think what the musical instrument was. And I said, "Oh, how often do you play?" She said, "Oh, I haven't played for the last 6 months because I said, "Please tonight, get it out and play and bring." Sometimes you need to be told that. And sometimes it's not so easy as just that. We've then got with the Nurturing Your Fertility Holistic Circles, which are going to start at the end of this month. They're part of the one-to-one group program, but people can also join them separately if they want to. And that is very much once a fortnight, facial acupressure to release therapy and building connections. And with gentle release therapy, it's based on traditional Chinese medicine, how we hold different feelings and emotions in different parts of our body. So for instance, we hold our anger in our liver, so we do lots of liver work. And the emotions within our wombs, especially if you've had some form of loss during your journey, and they all kind of almost get pushed down, and so we want to release that. And so we do lots of heart-womb connection work, and so all together and then obviously bringing the hand reflexology as well into the group program. They all complement each other, and I kind of feel like I've got the full package, if that makes sense. We've got the mental health side of it, because that is a big concern of mine, and it's something that I've been aware of as many years as I've been doing the reflexology, that it's a very lonely road. We can work to change your cycle, we can work to take you out of that emergency state, and give those internal saboteurs and those external saboteurs, have a break for time. It makes a difference, and I love the work. I love seeing the changes that it makes in my clients. It's fantastic.
And as you said, the fact that you do a course that combines everything, it's just amazing, isn't it? Rather than having to go off to see separate people for separate things.
That was the aim, that I could have something that appeals and works holistically. That's what I was hoping for.
Absolutely. And how can people contact you?
So my website is carlygarrett.co.uk, and I'm on Instagram at @the_wellbeing and on Facebook at the same.
Thank you very much for your time today, Carly.